So we've learned two things. Black Lightning is a badass, and Jane the Virgin is having a new baby. It's a CW Weekly Show.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I love our music.
It's so fun.
You up.
Yeah, doesn't it? Just like, it's like, hey, it's a new day.
It's just in the mood.
Oh, my chair is rolling. What's up, everybody? Welcome to CW Weekly. It's our second show.
Yay!
Yay! We're here. All three, actually all four of us are here. We're going to get to that. My name is Matt Marr. You can find me on all things social at the Matt Marr, 2 T's, 2 R's.
And I'm Tiona Hobson, and you can find me at the Tiona Hobson.
And I'm Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
And Alikona Bradford.
Yeah.
Girl.
Hi, everybody. What's going on? I am Alikona Bradford, and if you're listening to the podcast, it doesn't matter. But if you are watching us live, I'm clearly not there. I'm just the voice of God. But I'll be back next week. I just wanted to join in on this awesome conversation. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so we'll promise next week all four of us are going to be here for you. So if you're new to this show, this is the CW Weekly Show. So we've had a couple of comments on the YouTube channel last week, and we love your comments.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. But some people are like, wait, what? Are you not recapping CW shows anymore? So here's the deal. I talked to the people upstairs. Not you, Alikona. I know you're God. I talked to other gods. And so we are still AfterBuzz. We're still recapping basically any comic book show. And we're also recapping Supernatural. But shows like Jane the Virgin, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, they're doing like some Song of the Week from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, but Dynasty, those shows are not being recapped. But so your Supernatural, your comic book shows, Riverdale, you're all set. There's going to be recaps for that show. So hopefully we haven't crushed your soul and you're still with us. So,
and we're here to just fill you guys in on all the news that's happening across all of the CW shows.
Yes.
So don't think we're playing favorites here, although some of us do have our favorite shows and stuff.
Yeah.
I am sans shirt today. I have a shirt on.
Okay, so listen to the podcast. Yeah. Erica has a shirt
show.
On. Yeah.
Just not a...
I'm not wearing any shirt, guys. Just so you know.
You know what,
I didn't want to play favorites.
Alikona, live your truth.
You guys, I tried to Skype. They wouldn't let me.
They did, because we're going to show some videos, so you can't do too many tech things at once. But we're going to start with, let's talk about our, let's do our trivia question, right? Yeah.
So earlier this year, Stephen Amell competed in Celebrity Ninja Warrior for Red Nose Day.
Which he's been like dying to do for ages.
Because of that daggone salmon ladder.
Yes, and boy did he look good participating on this show. Just got to throw that in there.
So the question of the evening is, how much money did Stephen Amell raise for charity? Is it A, $20,000, B, $25,000, C, $35,000, or D, $40,000? All good numbers, by the way.
All good numbers, which you will know at the end of the show. So let us know in the comments, or you can tweet us. Now, we went off of one of the suggestions of our listeners. So see, this is not just our show, it's your show too, everybody. We decided instead of doing a ship of the week, we're going to do a ship poll. So every week, the four of us are going to choose our ship, and then we're going to put it on one of our Twitters. So you got to take the poll and let us know who wins. So this week, it's going to be on my Twitter. So if you go to the Matt Marr, 2 T's, 2 R's, and you can see who is our ship of the week. So Erica, who's your ship?
My ship is Nathan and Haley Scott from One Tree Hill. I just want to say really quickly, yes, they got married when they were 16, 17 years old, but, you know, they fought and they made it through. They had their breakups, they had their makeups, they had their children.
Oh, we're like arguing.
Oh, yeah. I'm going for it.
Like, hey, this is who I think it should be.
I'm pleading my case. I'm pleading my case. So that's mine. And the lovely picture of them when they got remarried. Watch the show if you haven't. I recommend it.
What? Okay. All right. Well, mine is Literati, which a lot of people don't know. That is the name of Rory and Jess from Gilmore Girls.
Did not know that.
Yeah, I did. And just only because I finally watched like the last 2 Gilmore Girls on Netflix. I'd watched the first 2, then my life got busy, so I just caught up and I forgot how much I love it. So mine is Literati. Tiona?
Mine is Zayd, Zoe and Wade from Heart of Dixie, because one, I think this show is one of the CW shows that gets forgotten about because they kind of had their ups and downs with ratings and people remembering it. So I have to throw this, and they're a classic example of opposites attract.
Oh, well, and Zayd is in the lead right now, just so you know.
How
everybody.
dare.
All
I
right.
mean, I did vote. So.
Oh, that's you.
Hold on then.
Okay, Alikona.
Okay, so mine is Prook. I couldn't figure out if I want to be like Prook or Pruck or whatever. Anyways, but obviously Prue from Charmed and Chuck Bass from Gossip Girl, because if you just look at them side by side, like they're both chic and they both look really sophisticated and slightly snotty, and I think they just make a great couple.
He has the best cheekbones. He looks fake.
Right?
He's almost so pretty. He looks fake.
So
He's almost so
jealous.
pretty. So that is our ship of the week, everybody. So go to the Matt Marr, 2 T's, 2 R's, and take that poll and let us know who's going to win this week. So let's jump into the... Oh, yeah. The ship of the week. That's our...
The ship was coming in.
It's a ship.
I thought, oh my God, that's so funny. I was like, who's farting right now? I was like, whoa.
That's a new
hilarious.
segment that we haven't done yet.
Thank you, Anthony,
What's
in the booth
funny?
for that.
I was going to say, what's funny is that I'm the one who picked that sound, and I'm over here like, what is that?
You're like,
guys?
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening. So first news that let's talk about some casting news first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's talk about a show I am super excited for is Black Lightning. I am like
Amen.
ready for this show. So Jill Scott she's going to be on the show as a villain. That's what we're finding out. She's going to be, according to denofgeek.com, and EW, she's going to be playing Lady Eve, who apparently has, I just started reading the Black Lightning comics. They kind of have released them, so I don't know a lot about the comics, but I'm going to find out. But apparently in the comic world, it's more, she's like with the Cobra cult, and it's a whole separate thing, but in this one, she's going to be connected to one of the main villains of the show, Tobias Well, who he is going to be played by Marvin Croden Jones the third.
Yes.
So looks like the real. I'm so excited about this show too, because also I read that. They're bringing on what are their names? I'm gonna mess up their names. The Keel, Selena Keel,
and Mara Brock Keel.
I appreciate that because I mean I'm sure y'all do too, but I don't like it. Like I just feel like as a gay guy, I don't like it when somebody makes a gay show and everybody's straight. I'm like, you don't know my life, and I like that because let's be honest, most people, the creators of CW, are all white people, which is awesome. That's
Right.
great. But I appreciate that they're bringing some diversity, and I really feel I don't know. How do we feel about that?
Oh, they are amazing. This husband-wife duo, if you guys don't know, they did Girlfriends.
Soul Food,
they did Soul Food. Being Mary Jane on BET. Like, they have established themselves as storytellers in this industry, and the deal that they have with Warner Brothers right now is going to keep them creating stuff for a very long time. So I'm very excited to see what they do with this. And the fun fact here is that I talked to them at Comic-Con, and Salim is going to be really taking the helm on this one, and this is sort of his baby, and she will be there. Mara Brock will be there as well, but she also just got another show. So
really?
She's going to be, eventually she's going to have to go over to that other show, and she's going to be involved in both, but he'll really take the lead on this one. And he wants to show a black family in, a positive light.
And I read that he's from Richmond, California, so this story is very near and dear to his heart. I think it came out when he said he was 13.
Yeah.
So he's been with Black Lightning from the beginning.
Because I believe Black Lightning's DC's first African-American superhero. Alikona, what did you want to say?
Matt, no, I'm so glad that you said that, because that's actually something that I was talking to the crew about for all you guys in the audience. Because I was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but all these excellent DC shows have been coming out, and of course Marvel on other networks have their things going out. And you always have that, key minority person, and there's like the one Asian and the one African American, whatever. It's so nice to see not just one lead of, it's his entire family. This story is basically about them, and of course there will be villains and other people intermingled in this situation, but it's just nice to see that they're doing a story about an entire, in this light. It's not that we don't have other shows that do that, but as far as being a superhero. And the other thing I wanted to say, too, this is a little off topic, but just going back to your casting, is I feel like the casting for Tobias Whale is so spot on. Like, such an excellent job. But at the same time, if you were that guy, would you be a little offended?
That's what I was thinking. You're like, it's so spot on. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if that's a compliment or not.
It's not an offensive thing to him, but I was like, wow, when I saw his picture, I was like, that's awesome. When I saw the side-by-side. And then I was like, I don't know if I'd be offended if someone cast me as this person because, like,
I mean,
we
let's
kinda
just
look
hope.
alike.
I mean, they still have to put a lot of makeup and prosthetics on to make
I mean,
what we saw
you know what?
true.
Right. But I'm just saying,
I would
like,
just
it
be happy for
looks
the
like-
work.
That's what I
Mama
was gonna
needs
say.
a job.
It's a role.
Okay, if you're watching out there and you want to cast me as Jabba the Hutt's gay son, that's fine. That's fine. Give me the money, Steven Spielberg.
Like, I will
Right.
take
I will
it.
take
And
it.
the show also, I mean, at least in the comic books, I know one of the daughters is of the LGBTQ
Oh, I didn't know
community.
that.
Yes, there
Okay.
is a member. I won't reveal which one because I don't
Oh.
know how far they're going to go into it the first season. I was trying to get some answers, but at Comic-Con, they hadn't started filming yet, so no one knew anything.
Right.
Well,
Right.
I think it's cool too that we're seeing this with Wonder Woman. We're seeing this, I think, now that the way we get more diverse stories on television and film is to have more diverse people behind it. We've seen this with Shonda Rhimes. So it's just exciting that we're seeing that DC is kind of catching, because Luke Cage was amazing. I love Luke Cage. And I love the thing that I'm excited about too. This is a total, like, I'm going to get meta. This is my therapist brain. But I really hate when I see movies about diversity and it's how people of diversity are having to deal with, like, the oppression of white people, which is a thing. But I love that let's just tell stories about these communities that don't have to deal with that. So that's my little soapbox on that.
And I was gonna throw in there also about the fact that they're both Marvin and Jill Scott are musicians. Marvin's a local
yeah,
rapper
that's true.
in the LA area, and we all know Jill Scott's a singer. So I wonder if they're gonna,
That's true.
because they're working together, it could open the doors for some musical performances.
Oh,
and
Yes.
oh, you're just going to say she's like an evil villain. Oh, I'm
Well,
Victorian.
Hey, have you seen The Wiz? Because that would be good.
Oh, yeah. Come on. I love that musical
Eveline.
episode that they did. They could do a crossover. I also think it's great. We keep talking. Obviously,
we
we're
gotta
excited
go.
about Black
Yeah.
Lives. But one more thing. That as a diversity we don't talk about is ageism. That all these comic book heroes are super young kids. And this is about an older father. So I think that's cool, too. But let's move on. Let's talk about some Valor.
We're going to talk about Valor casting. Valor premiered this week on Monday, and I watched it. I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch it or not, but I thought it was just
I have not.
meh.
What did you think?
I thought it was interesting. I mean, not enough to make me come back next week, but if it's on Netflix by the end of the season, I'll watch it. I mean, it's enough that I want to know what happens.
I mean, I'll definitely tune in next week. I usually give new shows 2 to 3 episodes to really capture me. This first episode, it just is nothing like the CW has ever done before. Or I shouldn't say ever done. It's nothing like what they do now. So it was very different and a bold choice for them, and I know some people liked it and some people didn't. I was on the fence about it, but they did announce 2 big casting things this week. 2 Brians are coming. Brian Letcher and Brian Craig. Brian Letcher you'll know as Tom from Scandal. So hopefully this time he's not playing a psycho who likes to go around murdering everything and torturing them. His character is Tucker Magnus, and he is a CIA Director of Special Activities Division, and he's brought in to help on this big rescue mission, which is probably going to be the big plot of the whole season. They have some prisoners of war that they're trying to go save. And then Brian Craig will play Adam Coogan, who is a Delta Force operator, and he's another one who's being brought on this top secret mission to go into enemy territory to get their boys back. So, I mean, I think, these are some pretty good roles, and I do think that it will get better. Maybe it was just a little slow moving for me. So, I mean, I will tune in again next week and check it out.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'll tune in next week too. But I did want to point out, it's funny because when I was reading this article, when it says Special Activities Division, I just thought sad.
It's from the SAD division.
Special
sad.
Activities Division. The acronym is SAD.
Yeah.
That's
Sad.
that is sad.
That is sad that you
It's unfortunate
felt sad.
that could be the acronym.
Well, speaking of
Yeah.
new shows, let's talk about Dynasty a little bit. We have some casting
Please.
news to set. Did you
Sorry,
watch?
go ahead.
Did you watch Dynasty, Alikona?
I did watch it, and you know what? I thought it was fantastic. I was a little sketched because TV now is bringing back all these random shows from the past, and part of me is like, God, are people running out of ideas? But the other part of me is curious, so I watched it. I loved it. I loved seeing Grant's show again. I don't typically follow him, but I was totally a Melrose Place girl, so it was interesting to see him so many years later and so mature. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but
Grant show's bringing the silver daddy. He is bringing the daddy.
Yeah. Sorry, Anthony, we don't have a picture for this segment. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Anthony, no picture for this, but that woman's pretty.
That's for Jane the Virgin.
Could have gotten one. And then it was also really cool because if anybody knows me, like I cover Hit the Floor for the last 3 seasons. Rob Riley has been so wonderful. He's always in studio. He's always doing interviews. So I've gotten to know him a little bit better, and he's such an amazing dude. So to see him go from Hit the Floor to now Dynasty. Now, for those of you who don't know, he's the one who plays the chauffeur. So we didn't get to see a lot of him, but it's just cool to see him in a different light. And just in general, the story. I mean, Matt, how did you feel about it? Because I know you just watched it fresh.
I haven't seen Hit the Floor, but if Rob Riley was driving me around, I would be hitting it. Okay?
Oh, he was like, no,
like,
let me tell you. I mean, I know we're not recapping, but like his first scene was like going down on Grant Show's daughter, like the main dude that's the head of the dynasty.
That is a full-service chauffeur, literally.
You know?
You know? I did like it. I'm intrigued. Come on, I'm like an old queen. So I love camp, and that's what I loved about old Dynasty. So I didn't see a ton of that. I hope that there's more camp in this show. I like that there's this kind of Gossip Girl vibe to it. But like I'm gonna need camp. I want a little bigger hair. I need
they are in the South, right?
Yeah, I mean they're in Atlanta.
They're in Atlanta.
That's the South. That is the deep South.
Yeah.
Good call.
So I'm intrigued. Like you said, I always do a 3-episode. When I commit to a show, I do the first 3 episodes. So, I'm ready. I'm ready, Dynasty. Let's bring it. I do like the credits. They kind of do the opening credits.
Well, no, I was going to say, this is the only thing that I will say, because you mentioned earlier, Matt, about ageism, and something that I've noticed as a female who's also, we're in the entertainment business, and I have recently noticed just how much, you see an older dude. No, don't get me wrong, Grant Show is fine. But the girl who plays his fiancée, now wife,
she's
16.
I
think she's my age, if not younger than me.
Yeah.
And so it's cute and all, but when you really think about it, and you think about how many television shows do that, it's like so weird that when I see someone who's the same age as the dude, and they're both in their 40s and 50s, I'm like, visually, this is so weird. It shouldn't be weird. This is normal. Why does TV do that? Anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, have you noticed that all the Mission Impossibles, Tom Cruise keeps getting older and the leading women keep getting younger?
Same with James Bond.
Yeah.
Same with James Bond. So, think on that, everybody, because we've got a lot of news, so I want to get to it. So Dynasty,
over on Jane the Virgin.
Or Jane the Virgin,
over on Jane the Virgin, we have 2 things happening. Telenovela star Alex Meneses is set for a recurring role this season. They have not released a lot of information about what the season 4 storyline will be for this season, but we do know that she will play Catherine, who's the owner of the Cortez Hotel conglomerate. That's a hard word when you have never seen that spelled out. Who is a possible investor of Raphael and Petra's Hotel.
Okay.
And I know there's a lot of drama. I don't watch the show religiously or anything, but just based on the previously on parts that I always seem to catch, there's going to be some drama happening there.
Yes.
And the other big news is that Jane's getting a new son.
She's having a new baby.
No, she's not having.
Wait, is she having sex to get this son, or is she gonna magically appear?
No,
I totally teased you wrong.
This is one of those magical recasting moments. So.
Yes.
Her son Mateo is going
to
to be played by a new actor, Elias Jensen, this season because the previous Mateo, Joseph Sanders, is busy with school. Is the story.
You did air quotes like you don't believe
There's
it.
air quotes in the article.
I get it, but it's like they don't believe it.
Whenever he's not getting them residuals when he's 20, he's going to be pissed at his mom and dad for
I'm
putting him
not
in
saying
school.
that the kid might be addicted to cookies and milk, but maybe he's addicted to cookies and milk and needed to go have like a long nap. I don't know what's happening here. I'm just saying.
Or that science
busy
project.
With school.
Or that science project is just going to take way too long to complete. I don't know.
But do you guys know, because I hate when TV does this, do you guys know if it mentions anywhere in the article that you got this information from, are they going to make any notice of it, or are they just going to be like, hey, we're going to put this new kid in there and pretend like nobody's going to notice, just like they did with Villian and Fresh Prince?
Well, they did that in Modern Family too, and honestly, I was fine with it.
And
Yeah,
they did
It's
it on
what
Boy
you-
Meets World.
Yeah, I think it just happens.
Yeah, especially with kids, because kid actors, there's so many rules and stuff, and kids can
Yeah.
get burned out because as a kid, when you're starting as a baby, you can't tell your mom, yes, I want to do
Yeah,
this,
you
no,
gotta
I
be like,
don't.
this is it.
So
Right.
when they get to a certain age and they decide, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I think it's right, instead of the parents forcing them, like back in the 20s and stuff, when kids
Yeah.
just,
Right.
Like,
oh, no.
Yeah,
I agree. No, I just mean, like, is the show going to just, like, ignore the fact, or at least poke fun and make a little joke like, wow, Mateo, you've grown so much.
Maybe. We'll
Maybe.
see.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep going fine through. So a little bit of DC Legends, Legends of Tomorrow. Constantine is coming to Legends. This is a big deal. So like if you're into DC Dark, the animated that did really well, animated film, and it's still going to be, what is his name? The same Matt Ryan, who was on the NBC Constantine show, and also I think he's already guested on Arrow
Yep.
once.
He was on Arrow.
Yes,
So,
he has.
so now he's going to be on Legend, and then we also we have some casting news of a departure in Legends. Hello, Victor. Well, I'm singing because Victor Garber, who I once met at a dinner party, and we talked for an hour, and he was lovely. Yes, I name dropped, but he.
Okay,
2 weeks in a
fancy.
row.
A lot of people don't know he is a big musical theater star. So, and he is going to the production of Hello, Dolly that is now with Bette Midler and will be replaced by Bernadette Peters. I don't know. I already queened out about Bette Midler, and now Bernadette Peters. It's too much good gay things in my life.
And I will say, because I will also name drop, I was working with Bernadette Peters last week.
Oh.
And she told me
Right.
that this is
Love
supposed to
her.
be starting in like February.
You got the
Okay.
inside
So,
scoop.
yes.
Again,
There you go.
I'm missing out with the shirt. I'm missing out
Yeah.
with the name
It's
drops.
the shirt thing.
Yeah,
It's the shirt thing.
It's a shirt thing. Okay, and let's talk a little bit about Riverdale casting news.
So exciting. Last week we
which had a great premiere this week.
Oh
Yes.
yes.
All-time
Last
high.
week we were talking about how they were casting for Chick Cooper.
Yeah.
And it looks like he's been found.
He been found.
Ladies and
Found.
gentlemen, I give you Hart Denton. He's been cast as Betty and Polly's brother. And what we know now is that Chick's been on his own since he was 18, and he's described as a tough, resourceful, rough around the edges, and distrustful of new people. He's a survivor, but his mysterious past is a secret only he knows. Like it's I don't know what to make of that.
Ooh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
either, but
He looks brooding AF.
Yeah.
I'm getting lost in his tough eyes. really tough.
don't you know you never look into the eyes?
Right. That's how you get
His
the
eyes
ton.
are
That's how you get
so-
pregnant.
His eyes are.
Yes,
That
that's
is.
a problem for
Yeah,
Anthony.
that's how you get pregnant.
It starts with the eyes.
But we don't know. I don't think we know exactly when he's coming in to the
We
show.
haven't heard which episode he'll be there at, but if they just cast him now, I'm guessing we have a few episodes on the
Yeah.
can already. So my prediction would be around episode 7 or 8.
Actually, no, I read this. I think he's coming
Oh.
up. Sorry, I just ruined your prediction.
Make me sound dumb.
I think he's coming episode 10, though.
Oh, so I wasn't
were
Yeah,
close.
I was
yeah,
close.
yeah.
Okay.
He's coming episode 10. So,
Okay.
yeah, we're going to. Riverdale, that's a whole other thing, but I love the premiere.
Yeah,
I
the
thought it
premiere
was
was
really great. It's setting up. I said to you earlier, I love Dark Hermione Lodge. I love it. I just want darkness. Anyway, so let's talk about, speaking of hot people, let's talk about our hottie of the week.
I'm so excited about this hottie of the week. Of course, with the premiere of Dynasty last night, we had to throw some love their way. So this is Natalie Kelly, who's playing Crystal, who you guys might remember from as Sybil on The Vampire Diaries, and now she is the new stepmom on Dynasty, and she's gorgeous and gracious, and I believe we had her in for the Vampire Diaries show at some point.
Nice.
And just, an absolute delight. And it's crazy because she always plays these low-key evil characters that make you want to hate her, but then she's such a nice person. And I love this little fun fact. Is this fun fact from you?
Yeah.
Because I could tell how it was written.
Yeah.
The fun fact is that she's in a real-life relationship with Matty Blue Eyes himself, Zach Rohrig, who
Oh.
is from the Vampire Diaries as well.
Wow.
Matt Donovan,
Matty Donovan.
the human that lasted.
Yes, somehow.
Love that.
Spoiler alert.
It's like, I love
I
that.
give spoilers.
I love it. It's like when I found out that Kara's dating Monel in real life. Aren't they dating? I think they
Yes.
are. I love that.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah, so
That's why
full
they're my
trivia.
mom.
Speaking of Supergirl, we're going to go back to some gossip and news, everybody. So Supergirl, did y'all watch Supergirl?
Yes, of course.
I did. I liked it.
I'm not gonna say
Kelly,
that.
yes or no?
No, I have not yet.
Oh, what did you think?
It was a little too emo for me.
I get that.
It was a very sad episode, and I understand that she has just lost her love, Mon-El, and she's trying to be distracted by other things. I just needed more action, and Supergirl isn't a sad show. Like, I don't go to a superhero show for sadness. That's what This Is Us is for. You know, I come here for my fun jokes and my, superhero save the day kind of vibes. But all in all, I am still a fan, and I thought it was well done.
So it's going kind of like the Flash route.
It seems like, but the whole episode 1 ended with she's not sad anymore. So we're not going to get a season of Sad Supergirl. We're just going to get an episode. The special effects looked great on this episode, though.
Yes.
And I did love the parallels of like her flying and listening above the city, because that's such a Superman thing that he always does in the comics, and so I like that. The ratings were a little down, but something that I loved that I thought was great is Supergirl got political. They took a kind of stab at the President of the United States and Steve Bannon, and there was a lot of talk about Cat Grant, played by Callista Flockhart, who's one of the best things about the show.
Yes.
And I know...
Yeah, I love her.
Yeah, and I know that one of the inside information is that when the show went to second season, Callista Flockhart wanted to be a part of it. She just didn't want to go to Vancouver all the time. She likes being in LA, because season 1 for CBS was filmed in Los Angeles. So I thought this was a perfect way, as they made Cat Grant, Linda Carter, the president, made her a press secretary. And it's perfect, because she can probably film this in LA, and then it's amazing. She's behind this podium talking about how climate change is real and that only imbeciles, she paraphrased it, but she's like, the stupidest people in the world only think climate change is not real. Like, she really just goes after it. And there's a lot of talk about fake news and versus real.
Sorry, can I quote my favorite remark?
Do
She
it.
said, Yes, Carl. As a matter of fact, she does. She also believes that 2 + 2 = 4 and the Earth is round because the president is not a moron.
I love that.
I loved it.
I loved
it.
That was amazing.
I loved it. And I thought, like, with the Steve Bannon parallels with Adrian Pasdar, with him coming in the new villain, he literally is trying to buy the media company and actually running the news. And they threw around the term fake news. So I was like, go you, Supergirl. Do it.
I like that, because I think it happened, not to keep mentioning the Flash, but I think it happened on the Flash too. Cisco's shirt was a face of an alien, and it said, "Don't take me to your leader." I thought that was hilarious. I was like, I need that shirt.
Well, we know that Greg Berlanti and they have a history of, not supporting mean people.
Not to get our show
political. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about Stephen Amell and what he's learned from Arrow. I posted this, but anybody read this article?
I did.
Yeah, what did you think?
Yeah, so he was actually, something I agree with Stephen Amell on, we both don't like spoilers. Even though I continually give them.
Yeah,
but again,
you just
it's a show that has happened. It is a show that has happened. You had time. And his quote was, "If it were up to me personally, no one would know anything. I've always believed that the best experience a viewer can have of a show is when they are really surprised by the twists and turns in the story." And I appreciate that. He's like, I don't want to tell you anything. Don't ask me.
He's very silent in interviews. Yeah.
But he does say that the show has changed his life, because one of the dynamics of the show is about family. And he made mention of the fact that when he was single when the show started, and now he has a wife and a 4-year-old,
a really cute kid,
daughter. Yeah, and then the greatest lesson that he's learned is he's attributed Oliver's troubles to not listening to people. So now, whenever he has somebody nearby that
gives him advice,
feels like they know something, he's like, I pay attention.
He's like, I'm gonna listen to them.
Yeah.
That is true. Oliver, just listen.
Yep.
Just listen.
Like Beyonce and Dreamgirls, listen. Sorry.
It's
it's gonna happen.
We're gonna go there.
Yeah, no, you're gonna go there with Rachel Bloom.
Oh my God, how many musicals is that mentioned? The Wiz, Dreamgirls.
Girls. We talked about Hello
We're just
Dolly. We're up to 3.
Killing it.
So Rachel Bloom, I love you. And after this, I might actually start watching your show.
It's really good.
No shade. I just haven't had time to catch up. And I'm a musical person, so I should watch the show. But she posted an Instagram photo of her in a ta-ta towel. And if you don't know what the ta-ta towel is, it's something that is for girls when you're getting ready, especially if you have plumper breasts. You get this under boob sweat and you're trying to get ready and you're blow drying your hair and you're in the hot lights of the bathroom and you get all this sweat. And the ta-ta towel is here to help you relieve and absorb all that sweat, and it's just an amazing invention that's kind of ridiculous looking that I also kind of want for myself, but I haven't bought one because I didn't want my friends to make fun of me.
Same.
Yes.
You should totally be a spokesperson for that product.
Should
You, like,
totally.
completely
If
just
any
sold me
viewers
right
want to
now.
send us
I'm
a
like, do I
Tata
get
Towel,
that?
please.
Wait, what? Do I need this?
Yes, I mean, it's amazing, and everyone needs one of these, I think, in my opinion. And after seeing her in this, I might actually do it and buy one, and maybe I'll give you guys
Take
a
a
review
picture and
next
post
week.
it and share with us.
Yeah,
us
I
how
would
it is.
totally take a picture of myself in one and post it.
You should. You should.
Rachel also was talking this week in an interview with Mike Network about what inspired her to get into acting. And, you know, she says that the first dramatic role she saw was Julia Roberts in Steel Magnolias.
Drink your juice, Shelby. Drink your juice.
I felt like you were waiting for something. I was like, I know you're waiting for
I've been
something
waiting for
right
an hour
now.
to say it.
So, you know, and she's attributes Sally Field in that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Steel Magnolias, if you haven't seen it, it's an amazing movie, and there's so many dramatic and emotional scenes. And she says that the first movie she ever saw was the first VHS she owned, which was Dirty Dancing.
Dirty Dancing.
Which you don't put baby in a corner. I think
Sure don't.
a lot of little girls of my age demographic grew up quoting this song and just dreaming of a guy who could twist and twirl us and
Oh,
lift
yeah.
us up in the air like
Oh, yeah.
this movie.
You know, I would say random story that like maybe people like are not going to care, but I'm sure anyways. I remember being little and going into the video store and wanting to rent it, and I'd already seen it, but like literally every weekend when my dad took me to the video store, I always wanted to rent that. And he'd look at me because I'd pick it up off of the shelf, and he'd be like, "Dirty Dancing." I swear it's a good movie, Dad. I don't think he ever saw it to this day, but yeah, that's like a must
It's a
Yes,
must.
it
if you're an
is.
artist.
Which, by
Yeah.
the way, became a musical. So now we're up to 4.
Oh,
We are just
boom.
killing it. This
Oh my
episode.
God, you're right.
Yeah, we are
Yes.
killing it this episode. So the next thing that we're where did I lost my place?
We're going to the Riverdale cast.
Oh yeah, we're talking about
Yes.
Riverdale.
So it was pretty exciting. The cast of Riverdale, minus a few, were at Teen Vogue, and they played Truth or Dare. So we have a little clip of what they were doing.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna pick Mads. I'll do Dare. Don't make me get up, please. Impersonate the person immediately to your left.
Oh.
Oh, no.
This is hard. What is it?
Oh, this is hard.
Awkward.
What is it?
No.
No.
I was hoping for something more original than this.
Wait, you have to do it line as
Copy
Betty.
it.
Then come again.
You have to do it line as Betty.
Oh my God, what's a good? Get the hell out of my house before I kill you, Cheryl.
So,
Truth or Dare?
so a couple of other highlights from that
Tweet using only your
Truth or
elbow.
Dare was that someone spoke like an alien.
What should I write?
Wait, hold on.
Up to you.
Wait,
Let them watch the rest of it later.
And they can watch the rest of it later. Thank you, Anthony,
Yeah.
for that clip. Anthony, yay!
So some other highlights were that someone spoke like an alien and someone else was dared to sing their words. I'll let you guess who was dared to sing out of the cast of
KJ
Riverdale.
Appa.
No, Pussycat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she sings too.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
I
I can see
bring
why
more
you said him.
Pussycat in Riverdale this season. I feel like it was a misused, and Robin Givens is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted more. I want more of her on this season.
Agreed.
Agreed. Yeah.
I
that's
want
how
more songs too.
Yeah, I
I
want more
do.
songs too. It's not just Archie being emo. I'm
Yeah.
just saying. I just think that
He's so much more than that.
he's so much more than that. All right, then let's talk a little bit about Charmed. Did y'all watch Charmed?
Sure did.
Boy, that was intense. Alikona, did you watch Charmed? Oh, did we lose
did we lose
Alikona? Oh, are you
Huh?
there?
Can you hear me?
Did you
My
watch?
bad, she was being morbid.
Did you watch Charmed, Alikona?
I sure did.
Okay, well, I'm not the only one. So, but are y'all excited? There's apparently I can't say that. Reboot rumors. It's very, apparently they're trying to do it before and it's not getting a hit snag, but now it's beginning the redevelopment process. How do we feel about this?
I watched a lot of Charmed. I didn't watch probably after Shannon Doherty left. I think that's when I kind of left because maybe I started college around then and you just can't keep up with TV shows as well. But I kind of agree with Shannon. I think it's a little too soon. It was on for so long.
Yes, like Shannon Doherty said, just by the way, she said it would be far too soon. It should rest.
Yeah. And I think we have enough shows that cover this genre of show that we don't necessarily need more supernatural witches. And I would love for Hollywood to start coming up with some more original content, because all we're doing right now is reboots of stuff. And I think it's kind of like us older sort of millennials who are like, oh, the 90s were so great. We're like, let's bring everything back because our childhood was amazing. And not everything needs to come back so soon.
I don't need to relive my youth.
Yeah.
I was trying to date girls. No offense, that wasn't fun. That was not fun. I didn't. I was like, nah. But I think that, I think Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and soon to be Apple is going to be getting them making content. We see this success of actually bringing new original stories, and that actually I think is what people are craving far more. Although Shannon Doherty is in the new Heathers reboot, so
But then that's been what, about 30 years?
Yeah,
so
it has been
enough time.
I
thought that was a little ironic though, that she is going to be part of a reboot, just not this one.
Just not this one.
But I
she also
read,
left that show on
true.
Yeah.
Not good terms.
I read that they were looking to make a prequel. So, but I don't want to see it. I agree with Shannon. I don't want to see it just yet.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how Sabrina does. If Sabrina does well,
but I think
if that's going to bring back
really
witches.
quick, Matt, I just got to bring up, because you guys talked about Sabrina last week, and I know that it's supposed to be a reboot of the Melissa Joan Hart version, but just real quick to touch on the fact that actually stemmed from Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which was a 1990s, I believe, is either late 80s, early 90s film that was really cute and quirky, and there was like this redhead in it, and it was just the most amazing cute. I don't know if any of you guys used to watch it. It was on HBO all the time. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
I remember the one with the movie with Melissa Joan Hart.
Yeah.
Is that the
Wait,
one?
Are you talking about Teen Witch?
I think you're talking about Teen Witch.
Are you talking about Teen Witch?
With like the rap?
Teen Witch. Yeah. Teen Witch.
Oh.
But her name was Sabrina too. Like originally, like that was the name of the girl.
Fun fact.
So that was like a spin-off from that
But it wasn't
movie.
based on Sabrina. Teen Witch is something. What was your fun fact?
Fun fact: the woman who played in Teen Witch is Robin Lively, who is Blake Lively's sister.
Funner fact.
Way.
She is. Funner fact. I took her picture at the Hollywood Bowl once.
All right, these
for her.
names, man. These.
Just
throw them. You're throwing them now.
You seriously just blew my mind right now.
She was very nice. She's beautiful. She's beautiful. Okay, what?
I gotta say, I know you're trying to get on, like, you're trying to move things on, but just last thing I want to mention about Shannon Doherty really quick, because I grew up watching her and, her talking about all these things. And obviously she's been huge and open in the media about her battle with cancer. And I read an article about some of the things she said, because prior to, and even in Charmed, she had a reputation for being not the most pleasant individual.
Oh no.
And oh good Lord. And so she said, she openly admitted when she was going through her battle with cancer, she talked about like regretting treating people the way that she had in the past, and having cancer, unfortunately, like I don't think she called it a karma herself, but in a way I think she implied, and just saying like it's really caused me to take a step back, reflect on the way I treated people, and change me and really, really humble me. So in going through the article about like them rebooting and she's in Heathers and her saying like she's hungry, and there's just so much more of her as an actor and an artist to share because of her emotional battle with cancer. Like I'm really excited and interested to see what type of work she does put out there, and maybe some of the feedback from some of the other people that have worked with her, and maybe even past cast members, where it's from Charmed or from 90210, just to be like, wow, like this really did change her.
I do remember reading another article about Alyssa Milano saying that she, Shannon, Holly, and even Rose had made mention of getting back together and doing some kind of reunion or something. So that's
a reunion.
Volumes.
I understand. A reboot.
That's different.
Not necessary. I think
magic's gone. Well, because I'm trying to on because we got a lot going on. So let's talk about the Supernatural cover.
All right, so this month for their Untold Stories issue, there are actually 4 special edition covers of Supernatural, and I feel like y'all let me tell
on what
this
magazine?
Story. On Entertainment Weekly.
Entertainment Weekly.
I feel like y'all let me do this because of Supernatural.
Yes.
But
So if you're a fan, go get your 4 copies of
There's 4. There's one that you're seeing now with the 3 guys, and then there's individuals with Jensen, Jared, and Misha. And they'll The group one will be available tomorrow, Friday the 13th. Woo! And then the single covers will be available next Tuesday, exclusively at Barnes & Noble.
All right.
Those still exist.
They still exist. All right, and also we have a little bit of a Riverdale episode that Julie Plec, right? She's
well, the big news is that Julie has signed on a new deal with Warner Brothers, and we're not told how much money, but we're talking lots and lots of dinero. And then the other news in here at the end is that she is directing an upcoming episode of Riverdale. But this new deal with her will have her cemented at Warner Brothers for the next forthcoming future. And she's still show running the originals, which is doing its final season. And then, what comes after this will be what she's working on now.
Nice.
Because, all her babies are now off of there. But hey, it's Julie Plec, so we know she's going to come up with amazing things. She's also done Containment and The Tomorrow People, both for the CW, and even though they did not last, they were great shows.
Mm-hmm. Good for her.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to fly through these. There's a couple of conventions that we want to bring out. There's a One Tree Hill convention that is October 13th through 15th. It's going to be in Icon, Wilmington, right? And Chad Michael Murray's so hot. It's going to be there. Hey, Chad Michael Murray. James Lafferty, Lee Norris, Robbie Jones, and more. There's going to be Q&As, autograph, the whole thing. And then there's a Supernatural convention that's going to be happening October 27th through the 29th in New Orleans. I want to bet somebody at this panel who wants to go. Attendees, Erica. Attendees are Jared Padalecki, Jensen Eccles, Misha Collins, Rob Benedict, Richard Sprite Jr., and more. And our Throwback Thursday this week is that Flash premiered 3 years ago. Who can believe it's been 3 years for this show?
Snaps for the Flash.
Snap.
So and the journey we have been on.
The journey we have been on
with
now.
That show.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's back to its happy place.
I am glad too. So it's the moment of truth. It's our ship poll.
Yeah.
I always feel like I'm cussing. I'm not cussing, y'all. I'm saying ship. I don't pronounce it well.
Don't listen to him. He's just trying to talk dirty to us.
So,
it's okay.
I'm going to go to my Twitter. I'm going to refresh, and I'm going to see, with a whopping 4 votes.
Hey, y'all.
The winner of our poll in second is Zayd.
Yay.
And number 1 is Nayli.
I think she has multiple. Erica has multiple Twitter accounts that she went in and voted 3 times for herself. Because I voted for Wade.
Y'all were watching. Hands off the phone.
So thank you for that ship poll. So next week, we'll use another Twitter. So be sure to follow that. Follow all 4 of our Twitters that we'll talk about at the end of the show, so you can take the poll. Now let's get our ending trivia question.
Alrighty. So the question at the beginning of the episode was, how much money did Stephen Amell raise for charity for Celebrity Ninja Warrior? And if you selected C, $35,000, ding, 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 you are correct. That's awesome. So he completed the 6 obstacle course with ease and continued on even beyond that to do the salmon ladder and the swinging pegboard. And so each obstacle was $5,000. And then completing the salmon ladder, which was, of course, simple for him. He got the extra $5,000.
And something that the fans demanded.
And the salmon ladder, that's the cha-chung. Yeah, that's like that. Ooh.
And just on a note, if you guys have not watched the special episode of Celebrity Ninja Warrior for Red Nose Day, find it online, because it is so inspirational, because there are so many celebrities who participated and they had a Ninja Warrior with them to kind of train with them. And especially for some of the girls who might not have thought they could get across something, they could tag that person in. It was just an event that was so involved and encompassing and positive, and everyone was supporting each other. It wasn't like, oh, I have to beat you. It was like, no, let's cheer each other on. And I cried watching it because it was just so beautiful, but it was also a really good episode of the show. It was
emotional.
Yeah.
I don't think I was prepared for how much they were giving their all and they wanted to complete it.
And you wanted to cheer them on because there was stuff that they were scared to even try and do, but they're like, I'm doing this for charity, let me go ahead and try this. So it was a really great episode, so definitely check it out.
I will. So one other thing we're going to say. So obviously a lot of you are watching us on YouTube, and we appreciate that so much, and we love your comments. Subscribe to this channel. But also, if you're listening to the podcast, one of the best things you can do, we're a new podcast. So I know AfterBuzz has been around, but we had to make a new podcast. So the best thing you can do is leave a review. So if you go in the new podcast site on Apple Podcasts, all you do is when you subscribe, if you scroll down, you'll see it'll have a review section. So leave 5 stars, hopefully. And then, I don't know, just say, keep going, you nerds. Whatever. Just write something, because if you write something as well, not just start, that's what bumps us up in the iTunes rating or Apple Podcast rating, and it helps people find our show and search our show, and then we can keep doing this show. Because you know, tell a friend about this show. So let's go ahead. I think that is pretty much everything that we wanted to talk about today. Alikona, is there anything you wanted to add?
Stephen Amell is hot. That's all I got.
You all got. Well, tell everybody where they can find you.
Well, everyone, thank you guys so much. I am Alikona Bradford. You can find me at yours truly, Alikona, both on Twitter and on Instagram. There's just little dashes between my name and Instagram, and that's pretty much it.
All right.
I am Erica Shannon, and you can find me on Twitter at Miss Airy Baby.
I'm Tiona Hobson, and you can find me at the Tiona Hobson. And Matt, can we wrap this up so I can go watch Arrow?
Yeah, I got to watch Arrow too. And you can find me at the Matt Marr, 2 T's, 2 R. You can also go to mattmarr.tv. I do another podcast. It's a Riverdale recap if you want to listen to that as well. So, yeah, check it out.
Supernatural tonight, too.
Supernatural so much. We'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.